Hey you, what up? Welcome to my channel or welcome back. I'm Maryam, and yes, I am only wearing makeup on one eye this time. If you keep watching this video, I promise I will tell you why that is. But for now, let's get into this Faves X Fails video for the month of August. I cannot believe that summer is almost over. We are now in September, and here I am talking about all of my favorite products and those that did not work for me. So basically in this video, what you can expect is a roundup of my favorite makeup products applied to my face to create this look that you see here, and also talking about those products that did not work for me. Why? So that you can have informed, educated opinion before you go out and purchase these products for yourself. Don't buy till I try. Remember that motto, all right? And with that said, let's get into this video. Faves X Fails for the month of August. Here we come. Meticulous notes, as always and per usual. Also, before I go on, let me address the tiny elephant in the room, which is this eye. There is clearly something wrong with this eye. The inner tear duct is like a little bit swollen. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't itch, it's just like a little bit swollen and it keeps on tearing. So I'm not really sure what's going on with it, but the doc said I'm fine, I just need to wait it out. We're all in the clear. Makeup time. The first product that I am going to be talking about is in partnership with Josie Maran, a brand that I am loving so much, and I'm not the only one. You guys are loving them as well. So the first product that I want to mention is this Josie Maran Argan Milk Glowing Skin Natural DHA Self-Tanning Serum. So what this is a self-tanner with naturally derived DHA. Now, DHA is the component that actually helps to fake tan our skin, but in most cases, it is not naturally derived. In the case of Josie Maran, it is derived from sugar beets, so from a natural ingredient, and that's what actually gives your skin that beautiful tan. So this is not something that I'm going to apply on camera, but I will show you a picture of my face before and after so you could see the comparison. I actually shot this in the exact same lighting conditions, wearing the same top, so you could really tell the difference. I'm obsessed with this because although this is meant to be used for the face and also for the body, I think it is very natural looking for the face. Plus, look how much product you get in this 4.7 fluid ounce bottle. This is $46. It comes with a mitt. Of course, you could use it on your body, but the fact that there is so much product and you could use this on your face is actually what sells it for me. I like to mix it in with my serum. I apply it at night, I wait 8 hours, and in the morning I wake up and my face matches my body just a little bit more. So that is what I'm drawn to. That is what I'm obsessed with. I'm not the only one. The reviews on this are great. Also, this is a 4-in-1 product, so not only does it self-tan, but it also naturally exfoliates, it primes the skin, and obviously it moisturizes it because it uses that 100% pure argan oil. Other ingredients include lactic acid, which helps prevent that crepey skin that you sometimes get with self-tanners. We're not fans of those. We don't want that. Also, it has some glycerin to help you lock in that moisture, to give you that long-lasting, non-orange looking self-tan. Okay? Now this, like I said, you could use for the face or for the body, but for the body, I quite prefer Josie's Argan Liquid Gold Self-Tanning Oil. I do have a whole video reels on my Instagram. This one is a little bit more potent. It's a little bit darker, so it's better for the body, in my opinion, than this one. But this one, if you like a very natural looking tan, this is great for the body as well, but because of that, I prefer it for the face, just to give myself a little bit of a glow, but not too much, you know? But both of these I love, and I also love Josie Maran as a brand. There's just nothing better than partnering with a brand who's got great products that not only I love, but you guys love. Okay, moving right along to the next product that is in my faves category this month. I actually really like this Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Mattifying Primer Sunscreen. Now this also has some clay, so it's meant for normal to oily skin. Hello, that's me. I've got oily skin. I wasn't really sure if this was a new product or not, but it was my first time trying it, so it was new for me. I actually quite like the way that sunscreens work as primers. I really think they do a good job of coating the skin and priming it, essentially, giving it that nice base. So I'm gonna go ahead and spread that across with my brush. All right, so what I liked about this primer was that it doesn't necessarily mattify the face to the point of looking plastic and to the point of looking fake, but it definitely does give the skin a nice balance. It feels refreshing, plus the fact that it's got that broad spectrum SPF 20 is nice. It's a nice helper. Maybe it's not enough for the summertime, but I think going into the fall season, which sadly we're almost there. Side note, I am not that girl. I am a summer girl all the way. So the fact that people are posting Halloween looks on September 1st is beyond me. Can we not dive into the, what are they called? Pumpkin spice lattes? I don't love them. I don't love them. A moment of silence for the summer being almost over. Moving along. This month, I am loving the new Lawless Conceal the Deal Long Wear Full Coverage Foundation. Now this is said to be clean AF, long wearing, self-setting, full coverage. There's one claim that I don't agree that this is stating, and that is the full coverage claim. To me, this is much more of a solid medium coverage that could potentially be built up to full, but it's definitely not full. However, having said all that, I still really like this foundation. I love the way that it wore the day that I wore it to an event. I was out in the sun, in the daylight. I went to like a rooftop party in the city and this wore beautifully. And those of you who watch my videos, you probably remember that very tipsy wear test. I'm sorry about that. If you weren't ready to see that side of me, my bad. But I had to do a wear test and I was tipsy because I went to a party. Sue me. So the shade that I wore the first time is tawny, though I found a different shade, Palo Santo, to be a little bit more full coverage. So I think for today's video, I'm gonna try the different shade. Also, I must mention the brush that comes with this foundation. They are not sold together. They are sold separately. This foundation is $39. I'm not sure how much the brush is, but basically the brush that is meant to be used with this foundation is really nice. It reminds me of my IT Cosmetics Complexion Perfection. I don't have it handy, but it's essentially the same shape. I love it. Let me actually grab a mirror and let me apply this on. So now this shade, Palo Santo, looks like it has a lot more pigment. And surprisingly, it's also not a bad match to my skin. The undertone is somewhat different, but it's not different enough that I can't use it. It's good. Cat hair! What I also love about this one is that you can absolutely sheer it out, especially in those zones that you like to highlight. For me, that's my freckle zone. I also recently stopped applying too much foundation to my pore zones because I don't really find that foundations in general cling very effectively to the porous areas. So the trick is to really either buff out the product around your porous zones or to apply much less. So in this case, I'm just using whatever's remaining on the brush and I'm kind of just swiping away from the pores. But see, is it full coverage really when it's not covering up all these spots? I don't know if it is. But this right here is definitely more than enough coverage for my forehead. Anyway, it almost sounds like I'm not loving this foundation, but trust me, I am. This wore so well and it made me look so decent at the end of a very long day that there's really not much to complain about. And truth be told, I didn't know much about this brand until I tried this foundation. Then I did some research and realized this is still pretty much a very new brand. I think it's only been around for like 3 years or so, which to me is a baby. But with this foundation, I feel like they just might be a contender. They might be here to stay. All right, moving on to concealer. I am going to just apply concealer to this side of my face because of the obvious reason. And right now I'm using a favorite from many months ago, which is my Fenty Bright Fix. I also like to use it between my brows just to brighten up this area a little bit, to bring more light and more life. That looks amazing. This does not, but we'll let it slide for today. I'm gonna quickly set with my One Size translucent setting powder. That is one of the powders that I find to be very smoothing and very pore friendly, but it's also really great for brightening under the eye. Now, this is not a new favorite. This is a longtime favorite at this point, but I keep using it because I haven't found anything better just yet. Just gonna set my pore zones in between the brows, the chin right here, and I'm gonna move on. I haven't really had a fail in any of the previously mentioned categories outside of this really weird experience that I had with the Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. So now this apparently is not a new foundation. It's been around for a minute, but it was a new foundation for me. So upon my initial application of this product, the first pump of this foundation broke up into what looked like oil. It was a very oily, very liquidy consistency, and you can clearly see the pigment and the oil separating. Even though this is actually water-based, it's not oil-based. Furthermore, as I went on to apply this foundation, it applied very streaky, very uneven, and I wasn't too happy with it. However, after being able to somehow spread it onto my face, I set it with the rest of my products and I went on about my day. This surprisingly wore really well. This wore beautifully, actually. I got a lot of compliments that day on my foundation. People asked me what foundation I was wearing. I got skin compliments. Then I had to like retract a little bit. I'm like, was it the foundation or was it the other products that I was using? So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not really sure whether this belongs in the fails category. I didn't like it upon my initial first try, but I heard good comments from you. Some people were saying that this might be an expired foundation. It wasn't supposed to break up into an oil slick like that. So I guess I'm still on the fence about this one. However, I will say this is very pricey. This is $48, but Laura Mercier foundations are known to be very good. So I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Sound off. Okay, moving on to the next product that is on my faves list. It's this Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. I think this is a fave from the previous month, but I'm still loving it and I'm still using it because it is really great. So I'm gonna use this concealer to spot conceal some of these problem areas. Add a tiny little dot of product and let it sit there. Then after I give it like a minute or so to chill, I'm gonna take a brush like this. This one is from Sephora. It's their blending concealer brush. And I'm just gonna tap, tap, pat it out. So essentially, I'm concentrating the concealer on the spot and then I'm just blurring out the edges. Easy peasy and works so well. Now this shade isn't my perfect match. I need something a little bit warmer and this one is a neutral, but it's good enough. It does a good job of covering everything up, not looking too heavy, not looking too fakey, not looking too cakey. And I also love it for those no makeup type of days where you look like you're not wearing makeup, but you are covering up all your imperfections. This is great for that. You can honestly skip foundation with this product. That is if you get your right shade. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is literally add a veil of powder to my face. I'm gonna be using this Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil, but in the pressed powder form. Again, not a new fave, but it's a product that I love. And now I'm ready for my next fave. This product, Translucent Loose Setting Powder Light Catcher from Laura Mercier in the shade Honey Star, is actually a fave of mine this month. And I'm acting this way because this is another product that I couldn't really get upon my immediate first application. I wasn't really sure why it was so luminous. I wouldn't necessarily put it in a setting powder category. You can't set something like an oily skinned face with a very luminous powder, in my opinion. I think it's just weird. But what you can use it for is to give yourself an all over glow. And I will actually put it in my faves for two different categories. One, for an all over powder, and two, as a highlighter. So this is how I use it. With a Laura Mercier cheek color brush, I swipe just a little bit across the forehead to give the skin just a pinch of glow, a pinch of dimension. I pick up a little bit more, I tap some off, I go down the nose bridge, across the cheekbones, across the brow bone, into the temple, and kind of just sweep it into the hairline. You can even add some to your jawline if you want, just for that extra pop. And then if you want to use this as a highlighter, you totally can. I would just take a denser brush or like something a little bit more precise and small. So I'm using this Jaclyn Cosmetics J03 brush. I'm gonna literally dip this brush into the product, tap some off, and then just concentrate and add it to the tops of the cheekbones, to the brow bone, to the temple area. And that to me looks very beautiful, very natural, very radiant, not too much, but very healthy. So now this is $39, so not super cheap, not super expensive, but definitely not a drugstore price. So maybe $39 is a little too much to be spending on a loose powder, but if you're looking for an all over glow, especially if you have normal, even dry skin, this might be something looking into. If you're not a powder wearer, if you don't necessarily need to set to bake, you could probably just use this to give yourself that nice radiance. Brows. Brows, oh, my favorite category of all time. I have lots of fails in the brow category this month. Shall I start with the most obvious? Yeah, let's do it. Too Faced came out with a bunch of brow products. They came out with this pomade and a pencil, brow shaper and filler product. They also came out with a brow gel that I haven't yet tried, but it's got some fuzzies, so it's also very weird. They also have a super fine brow detailer, ultra slim brow pencil. Now these two products I've tried and I absolutely do not love them or care for them. Specifically speaking, I was not too pleased with this pomade and a pencil brow shaper and filler. This has terrible packaging. It looks cute at first, like it comes out and everything is fine and dandy, but then you absolutely cannot twist it back in. So you end up having to use all of that pencil. That's a massive packaging mistake in my opinion. You end up wasting a lot of product. Furthermore, the product itself isn't really great. I found it to be a little too waxy for what I wanted it to do. And what I don't like about waxy brow pencils is that they get stuck in between my brow hairs and then they're kind of hard to brush out and you never really get that control that you want with your spoolie to be able to brush it out evenly. I give this product a C, maybe even a C minus. I tried it, I don't like it, so please don't buy it. And now what am I supposed to do? I can't even close it without breaking it. What a waste. Now the super fine brow pencil detailer is a little bit better. You can at least unscrew it out and then screw it back in, but the consistency of the pencil was identical. It was like the same exact product as the pomade. So it didn't really impress me much. I didn't care for it and I wouldn't recommend it to you guys. Moving on to another brow product that I didn't care for too much this month. I'm talking about Benefit's Powermatte Brow Pomade. This, although has a pretty innovative, cool looking packaging with the groove here so you could really maximize how much product you release onto your brush or whatever. But does anyone actually care for a brow pomade in 2021? Are we actually really building up the brows the way that we did back in 2016 to create block brows? I don't think so. And in my very humble opinion, that is what brow pomades are really best for. And I gotta say, Benefit's Brow Pomade is way better than this. It's $20, it's $23, they're not worth it. Sorry. And I love both of these brands. These brands have great products, just not these two. So now, I know I am very picky when it comes to brow products. I don't really like pencils. I'm really much more of a NYX Lift and Snatch brow marker type of girl, but that's not to say that I don't like pencils altogether. I like them when they are powdery, when they're easy to use, when they're easy to manipulate, when they're easy to brush out. And for that reason, the Makeup by Mario Master Brow Pencils were a hit for me this month. This was absolutely the best brow product that I tried this month. So let me go ahead and show you what it actually does. I'm gonna brush out my brows with the spoolie on the other end of the pencil. Next, I'm gonna use this funky little lever to release some product. Oh, and then I'm gonna hide the product. And then I'm gonna release the product. And then I'm gonna hide the product again. That's smart, that's innovative. I love this little lever. Reminds me of school, because it's back to school season. I'm having way too much fun with this. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna show you what this does and why I actually like it. First of all, it comes in like a million shades. Well, not a million, but like 7 or 8, which is good enough. Secondly, the pencil itself is very soft, very powdery, so it's easy to use. And because it's soft and powdery, it allows for very quick application. So basically, if you need just a quick fill, this is a good product for that. Next, I'm gonna brush it out, maybe add a pinch more to those areas that are missing some hairs. Extend the brow a little bit, and boom, she's good to go. So if you're looking for easy brow products, if you're looking for a soft powdery type of pencil, this one is very good. $22, good undertones, not too orange, not too warm. I don't believe in having warm looking brows. I don't think they really suit anyone. Good packaging. Another product in my faves category for the brows is this NYX Bush Tamer Instant Brow Styler in collaboration with Netflix Sex Education. So this is, at first glance, kind of similar to NYX's Brow Glue, but this has a little bit more of a gel consistency. So it's really good at spiking up the brows, but it can also glue them down. So I will say this is a hybrid product and I've been loving it. Okay, are we ready to talk about some fails in the eyeshadow category? I feel like I was personally offended by this next launch that I'm about to mention. My absolute top fail for the month is in the eyeshadow category, and it goes to these Bare Minerals Mineralist eyeshadow. This did not impress me much. In fact, it didn't impress me at all. From the tacky, almost gimmicky sort of packaging that reminds me of a notebook for back to school, but why? Bare Minerals isn't even like a Gen Z friendly type of brand. I thought this was really weird and I didn't really get it, but I said, you know what? All right, maybe they're trying to do something different. Maybe they're trying to like keep cute with it, whatever. And then I opened up the palette to find 6 very dusty, very boring, but overall very crap quality eyeshadows. These were beyond non-pigmented. These were chalky, these were dusty, these were barely there, you guys. And these palettes are $32 each. So to me, the juvenile packaging does not go hand in hand with the cost. There's only 6 eyeshadows in these palettes. I didn't really get it. The color combos are sad, really sad. I think this was the palette that I used in my trial video, and I used it specifically because it has some bright looking shades, but these in fact were not bright at all. These were very translucent, very transparent. The powder itself wouldn't stick to my primer. It was just a hot ass mess, and I did not find myself intrigued by any means. And although I think it was ambitious for Bare Minerals to create some mineral pressed powder eyeshadows, I think when it comes to mineral eyeshadows, they should probably stay in the loose category. That's the only way that you can really get the most pigmentation out of a product. And not to say that everybody wants a pigmented eyeshadow, but this was just not really usable, okay? That's the bottom line. Similarly, I actually had another fail in the eyeshadow category, and it is sadly the Wet n Wild Saved by the Bell collection palette. First of all, this felt very, very cheapy to me. The fact that it opens up backwards like a Japanese book is not what they meant, okay? They actually meant to print it this way, but I guess it was a mistake. The red background throws me off. I can't seem to appreciate these colors, but I will say these were better quality than the Bare Minerals eyeshadows. This you can actually do something with, but I didn't get the color combo. I just find that all of it is very, very unflattering and not really working together. I don't see how these yellow, almost mustardy gold shades, how they can possibly go with these pinks or with these blues, or how the pinks can go with the blues. I just didn't get any of it. But for $15, maybe it's not so bad. Shall we turn our frowns upside down and move on to some eyeshadow palettes that we like? And by we, I mean me. Let's do it. Well, this month I really only liked one collection of eyeshadows, and they were actually the Wild Obsessions palettes from Huda Beauty. I thought these far exceeded my expectations. I thought the quality on these was really nice. Everything swatched and performed great. Even the palette that swatched the worst actually applied very well, and I was able to create a really cute look with it. Talking about the Wild Python palette, this felt very summery, very mermaid-like to me. Now, the palette that I seem to be gravitating the most towards, and not just me, but you guys as well, is actually the Wild Jaguar palette. This one looks absolutely stunning, kind of neutral, but also very dramatic, very interesting. I love the unique formulations and the textures. I really like the mattes. Everything swatched beautifully in this palette, and it performed great as well. So today I'm going to try to create a quick little look with this, but only on one eye because we got a situation. So what I'm gonna do is actually prime my lid using this P. Louise base that I'm not a huge fan of because I don't really understand the hype, but I'm giving it a chance. And I'm gonna use this gray shade on a Laura Los Angeles L16 brush. I'm gonna outline my eye socket, first removing the cat hair. Next, I'm gonna take this E5 brush from Makeup by Mario, reach into this creamy shade, and I'm gonna blend out the edge of that. Next, I'm gonna use the same brush and pick up this brown. You see how beautiful all of these mattes are? They apply so well. They feel so buttery and creamy and just easy to use. And for me, when eyeshadows are easy to use, that's when I love them the most, because that's what kind of allows me to get creative. I'm gonna add a little bit of that brown eyeshadow to my outer lower lash line, like that. And then I'm gonna reach for this gorgeous olive shade. I'm gonna add that to the entire movable lid. Ooh, the sparkle on that is so striking. Holy crap. Now this is giving me fall vibes. It's also giving me holiday vibes. This is just stunning. I'm going back to my little Mario brush. Just gonna make sure there's no gaps anywhere. Boom, boom. We love it. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this very unique formulation. I believe this is a new formula for Huda Beauty, and it is a highly sparkly duochrome. So this one is kind of like a purple / olive shift. I'm gonna add that to the center of the lid, just for some iridescence, just for some interest. And that, oh my God, I can imagine the sparkle in dim candlelight. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up just a little bit of black. This is a shade I haven't tried before, but it's always important to have a rich black shade in palettes like this. I'm gonna use that to lift the eye and just extend it a little bit in a wing, like that. Kind of want to keep it smoky and not super precise, so this will do. And also add a little bit to the lower lash line, just a pinch, like that. Ooh, okay, next, let's talk about the eyeliner category. Huda Beauty did come out with a micro fine lifeliner, quick and easy, this guy right here. And although I liked it, I can't say that I loved it, and I can't say that it's good enough to be in my faves category this month. Reason being is because these super fine liners all tend to dry up very, very quickly, especially if you apply them over eyeshadow. So I'm not gonna do that in this video. You can watch my actual review of this product. I do have a separate video on just this. And furthermore, I just wanna state my preferences. I'm not a marker liner type of girl. It's just not my vibe. It's not what works for me. And I far prefer the dippy liner that you dip into the liquid and then you line with it. I find that those are just a little bit more reliable. They're usually just better quality, longer lasting, they don't dry out, and for me, that's what works. So although this also worked, it's not my preference. So because it's not my preference, I can't just go ahead and say that this is something that I loved. Yes, this may work for some people, but I am not those people. That's my story today. Similarly, this Sormé Precision Duo liquid liner and corrector had the same situation. It had a decent marker, but once I lined it over my eyeshadow, it immediately got contaminated and it became dry, so I wasn't able to get the best use out of it. But I did like the corrector end on the other side of this marker, so this is something that can help you like clean up your cat eye. But again, it comes in a marker form, so not my fave. Okay, moving on to a product that is in my faves category this month. No, it's not this eyelash curler, although this is a fave of mine. It's an oldie, but a goodie. I'm gonna curl my lashes for this next step. I'm gonna apply any old mascara. I have Huda Beauty Legit Lashes here, so that's what I'm gonna apply. This mascara looks very, very good, but it's not waterproof. So because it's not waterproof, I can't wear it because of the way that my eye is shaped. But the reason why I use this mascara today is because I actually have a new product that I love. It's also from Huda Beauty, and it's the Legit Lashes Waterproof Top Coat. Now this looks like a brow gel, has a very small, almost gimmicky like brush. It has terrible reviews on Sephora for some reason or another, but I actually happen to love it. This works great for me, and I have been using it, and I have been transforming all of my non-waterproof mascaras into waterproof, which makes it work for me, which gives me a much bigger pool of mascaras to be able to use. So for that reason, I'm extremely excited. So I'm actually gonna give this mascara a chance to dry, and then what you're supposed to do is basically coat your lashes with this gel. It looks kind of funny at first, almost like, is this doing anything? Am I even applying anything on? And the trick, in my opinion, is not to go overboard. Just apply one coat and let it dry out completely. You have to wait, I think, about 30 seconds to a minute before you apply the next coat to your lower lashes, so I'm gonna do that. What I like about this product is that it absolutely does not weigh down the lashes, it does not uncurl the curl, and it makes the mascara waterproof. So the trick with this, and this is also in reference to some of those bad reviews, is that you absolutely cannot go overboard with this product. If you apply too much, then it absolutely will clump your lashes. So the trick here is to really trust that first initial coat. So now I'm applying some to my lower lashes. I love this one. I've actually been using all these different mascaras that I've collected that I never was able to use before, and that makes me happy. That makes me just a little giddy. Okay, next. In the blush category this month, I am loving these two blushes from Wonder2 Beauty. So now the colors that I'm loving specifically are Peachy, which looks very orange to me, and Rosy, which looks very peachy to me. So today I'm gonna go for Rosy, aka Peachy, and I'm gonna apply some with that same brush that I used for the Mercier Honey Star. Just gonna add some across the cheeks and into the temple area. For me, this is a blush formulation that really works. I know cream blushes are really the rave right now, but me being an oily skin girl, I love my powder blushes. To me, they're the best, and no cream blush can ever be better. But this one isn't like a dry powder. It has a little bit of cushion, and it feels creamier than most powder blushes. I'm also kind of excited because Wonder2 is a brand that I would receive PR from, but I never really was too impressed by any of their products. They all seemed like things I have seen before. Nothing was really standing out. Nothing was really too innovative until I tried these blushes. So kudos to Wonder2 for creating a product that I really, really love. And now they're on my radar, just like that. All right, so for my bronzer today, I'm gonna go for Huda Beauty GloWish Bronzer in the shade Tan Light 03. Just gonna use this to add a little bit of color to my overall complexion. So damn good. And now moving on to the next category, which is the highlighter category. So now you already know I'm loving the Honey Star by Mercier for the highlighter category. Let's talk about a fail this month. So although I typically really like highlighters from this brand, I felt like this collection was just not a hit. This collection fell flat for me, and I'm talking about the Colourpop Y2K collection. The highlighter, as you can see, is very lavender purple. The formula is very nice. It has that creamy, bouncy sort of finish, but the shade itself being very lilac and very lavender is just not the most versatile shade for this day and age. I get it. I actually do remember wearing some type of a lavendery, lilac-y liquid all like around my temples back when I was a teenager around that time. But I don't necessarily see it as something that is super relevant today. Maybe for a costume party, maybe for a very specific type of look, but I wanted to like it. Sadly, I didn't. So now this is $10 originally. Now it's on sale for $7.50. So maybe perhaps if you want to experiment, it's on sale. Just saying. Actually, I think this might make a really cute inner corner highlighter for my look today. So I'm gonna add it here. Is it a vibe or is it just way too frosty? Okay, in the lip category, there are two products that I'm loving this month. One of them is the Artist Couture Silky Lip Oil. This is a beautiful gel-like lip oil that sold out several times and now it's back. Now this is a product that I love everything about. I love the scent, bubblegummy, it's fresh, it's friendly. It reminds me of a Jolly Rancher. It gives such a pretty pink tint to your lips. I love the large wand applicator. Everything is great with this product. I'm not actually gonna use it today because I have something else in mind, but this, if you can get your hands on this product, go ahead and get your hands on it before it sells out again. This, I believe, is $20, so it's very good. It feels very nourishing, not too glossy, not too goopy, just very comfortable on the lips, and it actually looks very, very flattering, so I'm a fan. What I actually want to apply to my lips today is another fave, and it's from NARS. It's their Powermatte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Bad Guy. Where is Bad Guy? I actually don't have it in front of me because I think it's in my other room. I've been wearing it a lot. It's just so pretty and so flattering. But since I don't have it, I'm gonna go for this other new shade. This one is called Le Freak. And this one is just a little bit lighter, a little bit peachier, but so pretty, like really pretty as a petal. I love the formula of NARS liquid lipsticks, specifically the Power Mattes. I feel like it's one of the best non-transferable liquid lipsticks out there. I'm still a fan of these. They work for me. I love them. I love how easily they wear, how long lasting they are, and how comfortable they are on the lips. So I'm a big fan and I'm gonna continue to be a fan. All right, you guys, so this is my final look using my faves, not my fails. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed my take on my favorite products and also my not so favorite products this month. I know I had quite a few fails this time around, definitely more than usual, but I guess it was that kind of a month and not everything can be good all the time. The only way we can really appreciate products is by knowing what we don't like. This is an opinion video based on what has worked for me and what hasn't worked for me. So I hope you guys are here for it. With that said, I am going to zoom on out and take my ass to the eye doctor because this shit ain't cute. I love you guys. I will see you in my next video. In the meantime, you know what to do.